Hello everyone. Today we're going to be looking at using CODAP to make models using Bivariate data. So I have a table here and I've called it unemployment and crime. What I've done is I've looked at the last 8 or 9 years, 2010 to 2018. I've been able to find the percent of the population in the United States that is unemployed. Then I have reported property crimes, and I have reported violent crimes throughout those years. I pulled the data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I think it's important to define unemployment based on this data. So the definition of unemployment is that the federal government will count men and women as being unemployed if they have no job, but they have looked for a job within the past 4 weeks and are currently available to work. This leaves out individuals who are not actively seeking employment and are out of the labor force for other reasons. The reason that I was interested in looking at unemployment is because as I'm taping this right now, we are in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic and unemployment has skyrocketed in the last few months. We are seeing a lot of civil unrest in our country right now, and I was reading an article that it was talking about the reported property crime numbers have been going up as the unemployment has gone up, and so I was curious to know if that is something that we could look back into our recent history and see if we have any sort of trend in that area. And then I looked up reported violent crimes as well, even though the article that is cited here from 2016 that gave me this idea didn't talk about violent crimes. I still just thought it was something that was interesting. So the unemployment data that I was able to pull came from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. If you go to this site right here that is in the text box for the source, you can actually pull unemployment from 1990 all the way to 2019. And then property crime and the violent crime both came from the FBI. Again, if you go to this site right here, you can see the reported numbers from 1990 to 2018. And I decided just to look at 2010 to 2018 so that I could get the most relevant data to take a look at. So that's kind of where we are. That's what we've got. And we're going to analyze two different things. One in this video, I think I'm going to split this into 2 videos. So in the first video, we're going to look at just unemployment over the last 9 years. So let's go ahead and make a scatter plot. I'm going to pull a graph down. And I'm probably going to make it a little wider. Let's make the year my independent variable and unemployment my dependent variable. So what we're seeing here is from 2010 to 2018, you can see that unemployment numbers have gone down. And as I'm looking at this right now, I'm thinking that I could use a linear model in order to model what is going on to potentially predict what's going to happen in the future with unemployment. Although I am sure in 2018 we didn't know there was going to be a pandemic in 2020. Although some did predict it. Maybe that's another thing we could look at. So what I want to do here is I'm going to walk you through how to make any model that you want in CODAP. So you're going to follow these steps to make a model no matter what type of model you want to make. So now that we've made our graph, we've decided what type of model we're going to make. I think a linear would fit this model. We need to make another column. You just click this plus sign for my predicted unemployment. So I'm going to call it predicted unemployment. And then I can click on this attribute and I'm going to click edit attribute properties and change the unit to percent since the unemployment is in a percent form. So here I have my predicted unemployment. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull down 3 sliders. So you'll see here next to map, here's my slider. I'm going to pull 3. So there's 1, 2, 3. I feel like it always does that. Kind of puts them all over the place, but I like to line them up. So I'm going to put them on top of each other over here next to my model. And then I'm going to rename this A, H, okay, So now I have my sliders. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my predicted unemployment, and now I'm going to edit the formula. So you'll see it has f of parentheses equals. So here I'm going to set up what my formula is. So it's going to be a, that represents my slope, times, I'm going to start parentheses, and then here is where we would put an x, but with this I'm going to be able to put straight up my independent variable, what it is, which is year. I'm just going to start typing it in, and you'll notice the year pops up. So year is my independent variable, minus h, and parentheses, plus k. And I'm actually going to copy this. So I've highlighted it and I've copied it. I'm saving it for later. That'll come apparent here in a minute. I'm going to click apply, and when I do that, notice that this column turns yellow because it is based on a formula, and I have all of these predicted values of unemployment right here. So you'll notice that these predicted unemployment numbers aren't even close to my actual unemployment numbers, and they should be somewhat close if this is going to be a model. And that is because of my A, H, and K right here. It just doesn't make any sense based on this A, H, and K. Right now I have a line with a slope of a half going through the point 1/2, 1/2, which is probably not going to be good for this right here. As you can tell, I'm going to need a negative slope. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the ruler, and I'm going to put a movable point here. And what I like to do is I like to put a point kind of in the middle of where I think this line, this model is going to be. I like to kind of put it somewhere in the middle. So I feel like this looks good right here. And this is going to be my H and my K that I'm going to use just as a starter to get my line going through this data. So for my H, my year, I'm going to put 2014.4. Actually move this over so we can see this whole slider. I can move my sliders over as well. And then I'm going to my movable point, and it looks like unemployment rate for my K, I should use 5.86. So let's change this to 5.86. Okay. So now I'm looking at these numbers, these percentages right here. Still not great, obviously, but looking a little better, looking in the ballpark. Let's go ahead and let's estimate what our slope is going to be. So I can see a rise change of about 7 over 9 years. 7 over 9 years. So this is actually, I don't know if I can do fractions. Negative 7 over 9? No, it just makes it negative 7, so that's not going to be good. So negative 7 out of 9, what is that? I'm just going to put negative 0.7, change it to 7 out of 10 right here. Let's see how that did right there. Pretty close. Look at those numbers in the yellow. Not too bad. Okay, so note to self, this will not read fractions and turn them into decimals for you. Good to know. All right, so now I actually want to see my line. That would be great if I could see my line. So what I do here is I go to my ruler. I'm going to go to plotted function. And then when I did that, you saw this little gray thing pop up right here, f of parentheses equals. Click that, and now you're going to paste, for me it's just Command V, I'm going to paste that same formula that I used for predictive unemployment here, and then I'm going to click apply, and then I should see my line. So you can see it's going right through my movable point. I can actually get rid of that now, because that was really just to help me making my model. And now I can adjust my line. So you can see I can adjust my slope. I'm actually gonna get rid of all these positive values because I know my slope is negative. I'm gonna stretch this out. I might move this line up a smidge. And it's looking okay. Of course, I'm not gonna know until I analyze my residuals, but my model is looking okay at the moment. So now that I have my predicted percentages, it's time to analyze my residuals and see how good and appropriate this model actually is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull down another graph. I want to make it the same size, same width roughly There we go. It's really important that you make these the same size because you really do want them to sit on top of one another. And now I need to actually make another column over here for these residuals. So for my residuals, let's make that the title. You're going to edit a formula, and your residuals are going to be the actual unemployment number. So if you start typing in unemployment, you can pull the unemployment rate in the U.S. This is this column right here, minus the predicted unemployment, which is this column right here. So here are my residuals right here, and now I can graph them against my independent variable. So my year is still my independent variable. Notice these axes should be the same, and now I'm going to plot my residuals. Oh, and so let's take a look at that model. So I'm not loving it right now. It really looks like these are too high, like these residuals are just increasing as I go. So I definitely need to adjust my model. So note if I pull this, notice if you adjust your K, it's just moving everything up and down. If I adjust here, this is going to help me tilt a little bit. Oops. And notice because remember what's making this happen is because these numbers are so spread out. I really need to come in and make this so that it's a little tighter, so that whenever I pull these, it's not so dramatic. So the K will just move your residuals up and down. The H is going to be moving your line left and right, but it's going to actually change the shape somewhat, but it's really just kind of moving it up and down. So it really is, my slope is the issue. I'm going to get rid of all those positives. I'm going to stretch this out some more, and let's look at, I'm not even looking at my line anymore. I'm really just looking at the residuals. So now I can see that I'm getting these a little tighter, a little closer to that line. I might want to move it up a little bit more. I might be able to, it looks pretty good to me. It looks appropriate to me. I would probably, some might say this is a little concave up because I've got high, then low, then high. But I really think this is as good as it's going to get for this model. So I'm feeling pretty good. I can drag this 0 if I want. I can drag the 0 kind of more to the center here if I want to. I can definitely stretch this out some too, so I can see those residuals better. And I just don't think it's getting any better than this in terms of my model goes. So it looks like my model is appropriate. You may say concave up inappropriate, but this is going to be the model that I'm going to go with now. So my model then for unemployment, my predictor, I can put in a text box. For my model. So my model would be y is equal to negative 0.727 times x minus 2014.51 minus 6.08. And with x as my independent variable, which is my year, and y is my unemployment rate in the United States at percentage, I could plug in a year and I could predict the unemployment, or I could put in the unemployment and predict the year potentially. So that's going to be the end of this first video where we're looking at how year is related to unemployment from 2010 to 2018. In the next video, we're going to look at unemployment and how it is related to crime.